Dr. John Backels. He is instrumental, the gentleman that had the foresight to start this Danby Lancaster Forestry program. Dr. Backels.
Does this connect get out here?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. My name is Jack Backels. I'm came here as in forestry. The Backwest, maybe I should start at the beginning. If you look back to World War II, and if you'll say, what does that have to do with anything here? Well, it's got a lot to be done, because you realize that all veterans that came home had a fantastic opportunity to go to college. They were, I believe, what was it, enough for about 4 years, and college at a university. I graduated from high school in '48, which means I was not a veteran of World War II. But when I went to college, my original college was the University of Michigan, which had a fantastic program in forestry in that area. And in all of my classes, when I was going to school at that time, there were 4 of us. And there were about 25. I'm talking about people in forestry now. We had about 4 people as against the veterans. I believe were 23 or 24 in every class we had. Now that tells you what was happening. But that happening expanded all over the world, all over the United States. And it's a reason why we currently have a forestry program or even a community college here, because of the great things we're going. I graduated, or I actually got 5 years in forestry. 4 years in forestry, and 1 year that was my master's degree, come to think of it. So I had 5 years in forestry. At that point in time, the Korean War was going on, and I was either have to go to I had been pre-introduced or pre-checked by the military. They had taken my temperatures and all of these things and put as long as I was going to school or to the university, and I was at the university, you could go to officer candidate school for the Navy. So I was excited for the Navy. I ran 3 years in the Pacific. Any place you want to go. Incidentally, I was not at any time shot at, but I do know that in many places that they were following our every movement, and particularly off of China. It was an interesting experience for me with 3 years in the Pacific, and then they gave me 2 years at the University of Washington. Now, at University of Washington, they wanted me to go up and if I would extend 2 more years, they would let me go up there. Well, I was looking for an MBA anyway, so therefore I figured if they could pay me to go to Washington, I would have time enough to pick up Master's of Business Administration. So that's what I did. So I ended up 3 years in the Pacific, 2 years at the University of Washington, which is a fantastic college. And if you really want to go to a great place, and this is not begun any of the others, but the University of Washington in Seattle is fantastic. So there we are, 5 years, and I got out of service, and I went up to Paul Smith College in northern New York. I taught forestry there for 7 years. At that point in time, everybody was still spreading out. The colleges and the four-year colleges were existing. They were always full. And several college states had a college go into the system like we had in Virginia, where we put out the colleges, including the institution here. I happened to be at University, or I had Florida State, come to think of it. And I was studying advanced management, advanced collegiate land in that area. So there was Virginia, they were picking up colleges, but really they were putting extensions of the four-year colleges to get them started, and then they would shift them over. And that is, of course, what happened here at Danby. And I was at the University at Florida State at the same time, and they came down to ask me to come up here and be the forestry instructor, because that's what I was graduate with, getting advanced stuff. The interesting thing about the whole thing about the forestry thing is that you had the four-year colleges at Virginia Tech, and several of them were my high school or my collegiate graduate people that I had been going to college with. They ended up down there. I ended up here. So when I ended up here, we had some friendship at Virginia Tech. We had a constant reminder. We were sitting here as an extension of Virginia Tech at that time. I then was here. We did everything. I got a job here. We moved here, family, and incidentally, I haven't left yet. But anyway, that was way back when. How many years ago? Was it 55 before? It was about 40 some years, 50 years. I was here, and I was trying to figure out what are the best collegiate two-year programs such as we have here. Well, I did 7 years up in New York, but has anybody heard of Lassen College in California? They were one of the very strong early programs. So the programs for here were basically picked up from Lassen and the other from upstate New York. And that is how the forestry program got started. You met many of the people who were here, and they remind me that I worked for them. They didn't work for me, but they thought I was working for them, I'm not sure. Anyway, that's what happened. And we have now one of the best community colleges in Virginia. If you don't believe it, you better. But the reason we have it is because we live in a fantastic area for forestry. Just think of what you know about the forest. Every one of you has been in the woods. Every one of you has probably gone fishing. Every one of you, all the men have been out hunting. We got all the foresters people, and you take a look at how well the trees are being managed. We had the national parks, we had the national thing. And so that is where we are. And here it's been, to me, it's actually taken me here to celebration tonight, meeting many of the people that I worked with, many people that we chose, and many people that are graduated. And It's just fantastic for me to be here tonight, recognizing what a good program we have, what good schools we have, and what great faculty we have, and how many people who are cheering them on even today, or evening, and once again. So therefore, please join me in thanking all of the people who have done the teaching. Incidentally, some person has said, well, what do you mean? You didn't do any work there. You know, when they put up the sawmill, I was on the roof with help pounding nails in too. So therefore, was not totally one who sat in the front office. And I ran all over the United States to get the proper stuff. And we have it. And thank you very much for letting me be here, because it's been a fantastic place. And my family is still here. And my son is with me tonight. And so thank you. And have a good time with Forestry and the whole area. Thank you.